had it listed that you done your own personal investigation.
It's Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville. We'll talk more about that as we move along.
Sounds good.
It's all about it. Let them be all about it.
Oh, you have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to continue scanning. Keep it in. You don't want to give it too much because I slowed down the speed. Okay. So it's almost like if you pull the antenna out, you might as well just stop it on one station and listen in and enjoy the music. Kind of how it goes. So let's talk about why we're here, and then we'll get off this crazy, noisy street corner. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised that I even have a voice right now. I woke up today without a voice.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
I do this every single night. So I'm not sick. It's just I didn't have a voice. So, but again, once we get off the street corner, you're going to see it's not going to seem like I'm screaming at you guys. So yeah, let's hurry up and get off of this corner. Reason why we started here, Big John's. The place is haunted, right about where you guys were all sitting too. Yeah, you're welcome. And it's not by Chevy Chase up there in the window either. In case you guys didn't see him up there.
Oh yeah, I did. We
so,
did.
That's awesome.
Here's what goes on here. This place was owned by a football player. His name was Big John Kennedy. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. So whenever I'm giving you the history of a space, I'm always going to slow down on the common keywords that are found for that specific area. Keywords here would be 47, New York, Giants, anything relative to a bar, the name John. Hopefully you guys are starting to see the point. Now, John used to sit in the back of the bar, and he used to tell the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel if they were old enough to drink or not. One night, 2 guys came in. They were not old enough to drink. John had the bartender throw their asses out of there. They came back the next night and tried to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. John saw what was going on from the back, and he slammed down his beer just like a linebacker does, and he goes up front and starts pounding on these guys, just beating the hell out of them. A couple of gunshots go off during that bar fight. John got grazed in the neck, but the bullet goes behind him and into the wall. He's the only one that got shot, but he's also the only one that got up. He goes back to the bar and tells the bartender, get me another beer, go get those 2 guys an ambulance. Irony of the story, nobody died. Now, if I tell you that a building is haunted, you are preconditioned to think that some tragic death occurred here. That is not the case. The bullet hole is allegedly still here. Even if this renovation of Big John's filled it in, they basically sealed Big John's blood inside the front of the building. People that sit in the front of the bar tend to get a little queasy, nauseous or headache, and it's not from the food. So I've seen it dozens of times. I've been starting at this starting point for 5 years. I see it more often than I would actually like to see.
Look, I wouldn't even go do a drink. Do you not do it?
Now, back to why we're here. It's a heated warning. I have 9 strangers in front of me. I don't know how this is going to affect any of you. The headache, the nausea, the dizziness is the reason what would go on inside there. So that's kind of the point of where we're going. If anybody feels any of those symptoms while we're out and about, let me know, and we will blame the weather first. Not everything will be a ghost with me. I am not a TV show host or YouTuber. I'll probably say that several times tonight. So let me know, but we will remove ourselves from the area and kind of assess the situation from there. Is that fair to everybody? I mean, we got kids involved. I'm sure you guys all agree to that.
Yeah.
So, have you guys been taking any other type of tours around Charleston at all?
No.
Nothing. Wow. Holy cow. I can lie to you all night long. This is great.
Yeah.
So we had a big earthquake here in 1886. So, and that's the truth.
All right.
Weird.
I have friends that have went through here, so.
Okay. 1886, big earthquake is here. And the reason why I ask is because every tour talks about it, no matter what type of tour you're on. And I hate to always repeat the same information, but there's a reason why I bring it up. Big John's, the building, is allegedly where the first death occurred from that earthquake. So a piece of the white mantle that you see in the middle of the building broke off and hit somebody in the back of the head. Apparently it killed him. The previous owner of this bar, in between the 2 different Big John renovations, used to see dark shadows in the middle of East Bay Street after closing. Notice I said allegedly a lot with that story. No proof whatsoever, just a great segue so the moms that I get on the tour aren't worried about the kids getting sick, even though I just brought it back up again. Yes, that was a joke. Thank you for laughing. So, are we ready to learn more about this here and get off this street corner?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, because I'd like to save my voice and start talking to you like you're a bunch of normal people. Let's do it. We're going to go this way.
All right. Oh,
Drop your stuff
I'm
already.
sorry.
Oh,
That was my fault.
man. All right. Pay attention to that.
You're right there. Hi.
Alright,
I'm
so
usually behind the camera, not in front of it. It's fine.
welcome to the Big Red Barn. It's a very quick stop. When I have a group this size, you guys are very excited to use paranormal equipment, and now I have to show you how it actually works all together. This is where we keep some of the horses for their carriage rides, which is exactly. Why am I getting too mixed up? Trinity, right? That means you the bank. Something about you.
They're only 13 days apart.
Alright. That's exactly why the spirit box that she's using is actually unused. They don't like the white noise. The history here is a one-liner. The one line is that this is the same red barn that held horses that delivered milk and eggs to the residents of Charleston. Keywords here would be delivery, milk, eggs, anything relative to a stable. You guys are really starting to see the point now, I hope. Let's talk about all these communication devices because they're all loud tonight. A bunch of spirit boxes, Ouija board device, word generator. What's the first question somebody would ask a Ouija board if they were sitting in front of one? Anybody here? I like it. So there we go. So let's say the 10 of us stood around and I did that just like they do on TV. Is anybody here? And here's the answer. No. That means somebody's here. You guys getting my point? We are not using yes/no questions tonight. We're going after details. If somebody's here, tell me what color a big red barn is. So obviously now we are looking and listening for the color red, right? But there are 3 spirit boxes in play tonight, and all 3 of you, the word, you're using song lyrics and DJs to be able to convey messages to the rest of us. The word red might not be available. Fire truck, blood, heart, 3 things that are specifically red. I may take that as something as being paranormal if something else is going on. Another example. Let's say Shelley's word list gives us the word art. It doesn't mean anything over here by itself. Kevin here's the number 40 coming out of his spirit box. Put those 2 clues together. Art Faircloth was number 40 on Big John's team. Did you guys see where I'm going? Lots of breadcrumb clues that we're going to be picking up, and hopefully we're going to have a whole loaf of bread by the time we're done. Let's talk about cameras real quick. We are going to be in spaces where there's parked cars and people walking by. We don't film cars, we don't film people. Makes people feel awkward, like we're a bunch of YouTubers out here, and if I was a car thief, with right now. Nope.
Is that?
Nope.
Wait, what?
2 right buttons.
2 red buttons.
That one.
And then that one, up top.
Up top. Don't
Very
hit the red
top corner.
X's. Don't
Nope,
hit-
nope, red. All the way to top.
All the
Look
way
at
up
the
here.
squared top.
There you go. That's
The
it.
2 squared.
So when I ask you for the last 4 or 5 terms, it's always going to be the word at the top
Yeah,
of that
what's
list.
the last 4 or 5 turns? Boom. Caleb, birthday, internet, steak. Boom, go back.
There you go. That's it. Yeah. I'm super stoked that it says birthday. This is me excited, everybody. I just like to point out.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You
So
need to-
somebody's following us around.
Alright, well, you need to calm down.
Somebody's following me around. What are you talking about?
That's why you're here, dear.
Hey,
I know.
I'll be back at the hotel.
All right. Any other major questions? Only button on the right hand side. Don't have anything on the front.
I know.
All right. All right. You guys are all hired for
What was
right now.
Parker's
Here's what I'm going to ask
ex-girlfriend's
of you.
name?
Hang on. One sec.
That's the only one.
Everybody's attention. There's a lot of smokers here. The next spot, it would be considered disrespectful to smoke at the next location. Please refrain until we leave that space. Fair?
Yep.
All have something else in front of them. It's going to pick up on anything.
Happy birthday.
So whenever you have
You're
a brain
right.
down,
Happy birthday.
it's always going to put a stick in it every single time. Okay? Good deal. Let's go learn some real history, guys.
Could be your grandma.
Oh, man, I would love him if it was. That would be my favorite person. What are you doing to me? Wait a minute, friendly. Oh, friendly. See that?
Mom, I hit .8.
Keep going. Oh, what?
So I'm looking for 2.5.
Hmm. That's what I told you to look for.
My highest right now is .4. Someone called me answer. So
Just keep going. Keep going.
when I was talking and then I stopped, I hit 1.
Yeah, friendly.
A little too big for me. You're going to hear me say that all night long.
That was something.
And what?
Let's watch.
I was jogging, then
All right, so here's what's going to happen at this space. By the way, if you have a camera, hit that record button. Let's get them up and running. Have you done that already? Have you been recording this entire time?
Not this entire time, but I'm at 3 minutes of recording at
Okay.
least for right now.
Is it? Yeah. You have one button, dude. You got this. There you go. All right, perfect. So, cameras.
Why you keep focusing at me? Like,
We always try to
It's your
keep one of us
birthday.
in view. So let's bring it in a little bit, Alan. Again, we always like to at least kind of get through the history first before we spread out. Every location you go to is going to be operative a little bit different than the next one. This one in particular, I'm going to give you the history of the space, and then we're going to spread out. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with this whole group and kind of seeing what's going on, take a bunch of notes, and re-bring us back here to show you how it all pieces together. Now, with this location starting here, all you communication device people, spirit boxes, Ouija board, and the word generator, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. So that's your new baseline. Don't give me anything below that 2.9. We're going to do that every single time while we're in one space. So 2.9 I'll be writing down in just a minute. So again, with those spirit boxes, I'll give you guys focus questions of what, I don't want to say is what's permissible, because you can come up with your own questions, but this place can be a little temperamental. I'll explain why as we kind of go through it. So where are you? You're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So I take you to weird spots. This place used to be something. And if you also take note that no other ghost tours are here because there's nothing to see. This is part of the reason why I love this space, and it's haunted as hell. Let's get into it. This place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street, and Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant just below our almost full moon coming all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for the secondary clues. In the event that Kevin hears the name Charles, I need to know which one it is by coming out of one of the other 2 spirit boxes so I know how to address them. Hopefully you guys are really starting to see the point on this. Now, son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for South Carolina. I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman that recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of a spirit box. I just make sure I give it to them. We move on. Talking about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. So, yeah, things did happen weirdly back then. Think of today's standards when young ladies get married because the husband was over double her age when they married. It's kind of a creepy age gap then, it's a creepy age gap now. So I'm just kind of put that out there. So, with that, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children back home to England so he can see his kids one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so instead she stayed put right here and got married. Well, it's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. There's nothing horrific about this location. It's a true love story and should be treated with respect once you realize who this woman actually was. Moving on, she was correct. Dad didn't die right away. Instead, he started sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. I think almost everybody here is wearing some sort of denim tonight. That's what we use it for today. When she got her seeds, no idea what to do with it. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here, you Ohioans. Believe it or not, we always think it's super hot down here year-round, and it's not. Then she had to learn how to make the dye and moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Indigo. So, indigo with a G, not a CA. So, with that, let's get into the weird stuff because that's why you guys are here. I am going to assign you guys focus questions. You can either say these things out loud, just based on what type of spirit box or communicator that you have, or you can just focus on them. Keep in mind, we have all 3 cameras and at least 7, or let's say 6 pieces of communication out here. So if Trinity's asking a question, Kevin might get the answer. We never know where it's going to go. That's the beauty of when we're doing this out here. Even if I have just 2 people, there's always 2 pieces of communication, so our ghost can go to either one of them. Here's how this is going to work out. I'm going to go, we'll go left to right. So Kevin, you're going to start off with Eliza's death. So 4 major things that we get answers to: how old she was when she died, how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So yeah, very interesting lady here. the two of your devices are kind of ironic that they both went to you because they're going to be working together. So with that, you're going to be looking for Eliza's full initials, Tim. So her initials are ELP. No anagram. I want them in that order. Hopefully they show up that way. Because, Shelly, you're going to be asking what the L stands for. Here's why. That's her maiden name. Starts with an L. But the Eliza that I just told you about with the indigo crops, not indigo crops.
Not when that truck
She
was on.
is actually the second wife named Eliza
Huh?
Charles
It wasn't when the truck was
First wife
on.
died.
Standing
5
right
months
here.
later, he married the one I just told you about. So the first wife named Eliza also has a maiden name that starts with the letter L. I'm not going to tell you what those two things are. So that's the way your two devices
What's the
are.
letters I'm looking for?
ELP. Eliza.
ELP?
Yep, ELP in that order.
I need
Perfect. What's the commercial saying?
This is what they have.
That's a long phrase.
It's like, and so you have
I don't know.
And so
It's like saying on a sand station.
and so they have.
yes.
I don't have these buttons memorized yet. Better? Yeah, that's what it should be doing. See how that's moving? That stuff's moving, let me know. Yeah, that's the thing too for me. I'm still learning more about it. I've only used it myself like once or twice. So back to your two spirit boxes, we're gonna hopefully get the same type of answers out of it. So we're gonna use them in conjunction just because we don't have a new set for the new spirit box yet. You're gonna be focused on the mansion. So it's not here anymore. So I want you to focus on what happened to the mansion. If you get the what, you will often get the 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that actually happened. So I'm kind of giving you a clue that it was some type of tragedy. So again, if you pick up on anything weird at all, other than just a direct answer to your question, it's okay. Let me know what you guys are hearing, just the same way you've already been doing. Oh yeah, so we're gonna be spreading about. I gotta keep Tim with me for just a minute so I can show him how to use that thing a little bit further. The last car already left, so we're gonna stay within the confines of this lot. And
Do I need to stay with them? Because
it's up to you. It's your night. So, not one of the kids. We're
Just walk and Are you here with us tonight? Do you want to tell me about yourself? Do you want us to leave? Is this where you learn to dye things?
You ain't believing this, right?
I mean, I gotta speak for the first minute, but no, no.
These songs, I know like all of them. It was playing a song by Kendrick Lamar.
It was playing a song by who?
Kendrick Lamar.
Alright.
And it was just playing I Had Some Hope by Michael Jackson.
Probably picking up radio signals. Are you here with any of us? Do you? Tomorrow. Is this a fireplace you used?
Yeah, I'm like,
Is he talking shop?
Huh?
Is he talking shop?
No. Nope, we're
I'm
talking.
keeping them on Ghost, don't worry.
Yeah, she likes to keep me off the shop talk.
What I was basically telling him was I don't follow over these two cameras in real time because they're so small. I send them over to YouTube. As
And he believes he's a believer. He's not he doesn't do it just for hustle.
Just
I'm
for
also
kicks?
your biggest skeptic because you guys love to show up and tell me all the Hollywood bullshit that you guys like. Oh, I just hit Get Out.
I mean, we watch it, but we also
gotta be
are like,
skeptic.
that's
If you're not,
bullshit.
you can always find something. That's what I said. Like,
Well, we've all experienced
everybody
something.
had some kind of experience, whether it was real or not. I mean, that's to be determined.
Or hopefully, after because I'm doing a lot more than just this. Like you've already asked. Like I'm actually getting quite the name for myself internationally. So
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Let's
I
get
mean,
it.
just based off of some of the work that I'm doing here. So I mean, it's again,
Well, I'm glad to give you my money.
I'm a believer, and my thing is, I'm a believer to where I believe that there is a way that we can still communicate. We just haven't discovered it yet.
I don't think we have enough of our own technology built in that capacity yet. That's why I'm always pushing you and looking at testing things. What you got?
I've gotten hi twice. I've gotten a hello, but it was whispered. And then I've gotten go and you.
Have you talked back?
So with the word hi, let me kind of put something in perspective for you. These people are from the 1700s. It's 300 years ago. They didn't say the word hi. So they're not going to greet you with a hi, how are you? They're usually going to say hello. How do you do? Like that's, you have to remember the language. So it sounds old timey. Obviously, it sounds a little bit better. I'm not going to write down the word hi. What were the other places that you wrote?
Music. And then I heard go. And I have heard hello whisper.
That's pretty cool. What's your highest number now? Okay. Keep going. Hopefully we get much higher than that. Pretty well for this time. Yeah. That. Okay. What are your words?
Thin, no, and mattress. I think it's only I'm tired. I don't know.
I don't have to write yours down.
Oh, now it's fellow.
And with yours, do you have anything that's in there with the ELP or any other words being spelled out? Okay. Again, that one some nights gives me 0 words. Other nights it'll give me like 30.
Give me the right one.
Well, anything that's 3 letters or more, that's if you have
Wait.
the word.
Madeline? No.
Madeline?
But anything that has 3 letters or more in it, it's an actual word. I write it down so I can learn more about how that device works. Again, I've only had that thing for a year and a half, 2 years.
You know, you gave the blindest person the smallest thing to look at.
Okay.
No, I don't. Hey.
All right, let me use my left hand. I don't watch the cameras. Just kind of keep them lowered a little bit. We've got some folks walking through, so be mindful. Anything else on yours? Charlie?
Oh, ago. Long ago.
Hey, Jen.
What did it just say? Stop moving. Just stay there.
Didn't say help on that?
No, yeah, it did.
Okay.
So
Wait a minute. Christopher. Christopher. Hey, I got a name. Christopher. And hers is.
No, hers just said help.
Okay.
I understand.
Hers is help. And mine says Christopher.
Christopher.
Well, read his first. That's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mine says
You
Martin.
know, because the S and the C.
Yes.
Christopher.
So Christopher
There's
and
a-
help.
The help is a little on the trophy side. Like that's one of the kind of stuff you get out of the Hollywood movies. Like people aren't looking for help. I'm talking every day and night. So they're not like looking to go into the light or anything like that. Like they're just if they want to chat with us, they'll chat with us. It's very casual. That help and go away and that kind of thing. Like that's usually not a thing.
Whoa, what's that?
The road's going to stand still. You're not going to find anything. Kevin, you got anything? Okay. It's not an easy task to do, to listen to those.
I didn't visit it.
We're actually in the home. Maybe we're the visitors. Maybe she's saying we're the visitors.
fireplace right there. We're in the living room. That's fitting.
of their mansion.
It's East Bay Street.
What you got going on?
Oh yeah, just recording.
I'm recording real quick, so I'm recording what I'm talking about. Her foot's killing her. We've been walking all day.
Oh man, right. I'm gonna I just.
Please.
We need to move on.
Huh?
I said we need to move on.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I kind of like this bullshit. I do. I mean, the only thing that I've had all these different words, and the only one that's
It's her
meant
birthday.
something was birthday. It's not a reason for everything else. Oh, yours is going to be 80% off. Dude, I think it's just a thing to make money. I do. We're going to go to another one.
Alan's the one that paid for it, so.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try another one and see what
Hey, I got this shirt. He said, how dare you interfere with my DJ?
Like, you're gonna get one.
Yeah, shut up. I heard
Okay, stop on those cameras. Give your hands. Just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor. He's going to take all your money. So he moves to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. And on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to the doctor's stay here in Charleston. And on his somebody's walking by the way, and seeing what was about to happen. The person walking by was named Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. We were getting the letters RI all the time from our regular spirit boxes like what Kevin's using, so I bought the device that Tim is using to make sure we were getting the exact letters. In the past year that I've had the thing coming down here, I've gotten the letters RI around Ralph's name about 7 or 8 times. So just kind of take that for what it's worth. I don't find it coincidental. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you just come with me? We'll go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there that'll rent you a room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen became friends. Now, the longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. So Amanda gets wind of this from Rhode Island. She's moving down so they can be married. And Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is part of the reason why I was going to take this out of my route, because I hate cliches. Every haunted city you will ever visit, ever, is going to have a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor, but there's a little bit of legitimacy here. We're going to talk about that. So why are we in Dueler's Alley? Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. On their way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them, and they go their separate ways. But Ralph goes to his friends at the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a you're a disgrace to society kind of stuff. The doc saw that ad in the paper and rebutted with, let's go to Jeweler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. They came down here, back to back, took their 10 paces, they turned, the doc pointed his gun in the air, shot his one bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend, just needed the courage to show up. But Ralph has his one bullet still. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doc didn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last statement. First thing, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of them now. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself. So obviously he failed because he died. Every ghost tour that comes down here tells your guests to listen for the whistles. We have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to come up on one of those 4 devices. However, we do have some spirit boxes running right now too, especially one that's recording. I can't tell you how many times I've actually come across the whistling part of a song and the word doctor that shows up immediately from a commercial thereafter. So I don't look for these things. So
Well, you can look for it on my camera because I don't know how to whistle.
So you guys actually look for those because I don't listen to the audio of your cameras. Because here's the reason why. I used to give all the cameras to the skeptics of the group when my tickets were way cheaper and I did see a lot of skeptics. And I wouldn't tell them that it records audio. And they would say some really nasty shit about me. So I just learned, don't listen to the audio, focus on the visuals that camera actually provides. So I turn it on mute and I watch it in fast forward. So that's the way I can kind of see more anomalies that way. So if you guys come across something in those camera audios, let me know. I'll go back to it, prove it, or debunk it. Listen to it in regular time. But anyway, if you're going to try to listen for these whistles on your own, because remember, I can't take you all the way through, I've been kicked out of here. Use your voice recorders from your phones. Just remember, every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here in Charleston. So here's how I got kicked out. This is the fun part of the story. Super great to tell when I have a bunch of kids here to give them great ideas.
You're not allowed to own this road right now?
To own it, it's an alley.
Or you're not allowed to own it?
Oh, I'm allowed on it. I just can't go all the way through it. Let me explain. You guys don't let me get to explain yet. So, here's how it goes. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. So about halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley before it was Jeweler's Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock for the city of Charleston. We're talking like early 1700s. So cows, goats, and chickens are down here, and the reason why I'm telling you that is because those bricks down there are older than the ones we're sitting on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. I used to take my groups all the way through and show them those bricks because there is a handprint from a slave child in one of those bricks and fingerprint swipes in others. And I used to take them down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. That's the last place you're going to find that kid ghost. You guys are getting my point. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. So, November 26th of 2020, took my entire group of 10, same size as you guys down there, and going to just point it out and move along like I always do. Well, that group didn't stop, they didn't keep going. They stopped, and they were all huddled around that damn brick, waiting for something to happen with all of the gear. Well, I'm trying to move them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds for tours. That new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was on the tour that night, thought it was hysterical and thought it was great that her dad was getting yelled at. And we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You all fight over towels on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I'm not doing Thanksgiving ever again. I called my partner the next day so I could figure out what to do and tell him what happened. And he started laughing at me the way my daughter did and said, dude, you're not allowed to go down halfway. You're only allowed to go, you can't go all the way through. You can only go halfway. You got to reroute your group, man. It's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. I told my group that night, I don't believe in the next story. I would normally, by the way, tell you a pirate story next, but I've been kicked out of there too. We'll talk about that later. But I said, I'm into vampires, not pirates. And basically, before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. So it's kind of like, oh shit, maybe we'll get something. So took them up around the corner and told them what I did know about pirates, which wasn't much because I didn't have any time to research. And somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. Don't know what that one means. I wrote it down. We were there on November 28th of 2020. and Bonnie's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So it was kind of a shit moment for some people. I was actually quite pissed off because pirate stories, here's the problem with pirate stories for me. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I'm researching anything, I need facts and data. Like, pirate stories come from pirate lore. That was written 100 years after the Golden Age of piracy. So I didn't want to do the pirate story because every time you guys found something, I had to read a ton of books to verify one piece of evidence. The problem for me now is I built it up for 4 years, and I just got kicked out of there in like February, March of this year. Like, they're not allowing tourists to go through that area anymore. So I was like, oh shit, what are we going to do? So here's what's going to happen at the next location. We're basically going to take T's camera. I'm going to give you guys the history of what we're going to be doing at that cemetery. And we're going to go up to the gate, and all 3 cameras are going to put their cameras right up to the gate. And we're hopefully going to be able to find what we're looking for, which is an apparition. So in the event that we capture the apparition on T's camera, I want to be able to see what the other 2 cameras were doing to see how it's going to collaborate. Essentially, my theory basically states nothing should happen on those 2 cameras if you get something going on with yours. So kind of vice versa. That's why we use so many different styles of cameras. We're in Remy's house, man. He ain't gonna mess with us.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I don't know, but every time he shakes this thing up there, it says 0. Then he puts it over towards me, it's like 5 point something.
Where's your phone?
It's
It just says 1.
Where's your phone?
Huh?
Where's the phone at? When
My
you're doing
phone?
it. The phone in your hand, is it relatively close when you're doing that?
I mean, it's right there.
Yeah, then it's coming off the phone.
I heard 369.
360 what?
9.
369. Okay. So when we get up and around the corner, I do want you guys listening in. So Nevaeh, that does include you, so you'll listen in until we get up around the corner. I'll give you guys the history. We'll go up to the church a little bit closer, get our footage for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll explain our last location that we're going to after that. It looks completely different than what we've been doing all night long. So cameras, if you want to keep them running, up to you. We're going up and around the corner. But of course, with these, I'm going to have to change out the battery and light anyway. So yeah, let's go on up out of this location and let's go see what we can do at the cemetery. Oh, Dr. Ladd will be. No, we're not walking through.
We're not allowed to,
Yeah,
buddy.
can't go. Can't do it.
I'm sure it probably was. That's why we're leaving. Yeah. Just keep going, buddy.
Cemetery reads, there's no ghost here besides the Holy Ghost. They don't want jerks like me with cameras like T's to go in there and try to recreate what happens. Here's what happened. 1888, a young lady passed away by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. What are her initials?
So,
Which spells? Exactly. It's cheesy, it's campy, but we get it all the time. We have 2 devices down here that can actually spell things out for us. So we've seen it. I can't tell you how many times. Anyway, Sue Howard Hardy died 6 days after her stillborn child. Very sad story. Another dead baby. I'm sorry. There's going to be one more tonight. That's the way that Charleston works. But anyway, 1987. Exactly 99 years later, on June 16th, we have a local photographer taking pictures of the cemeteries. He's going to make a beautiful book, and he finds an apparition in one of his photographs. It's 1987. He doesn't have the technology that we have today. He has to send this thing off to Kodak. For the younger people in our group, that's where we send our pictures so we can hold them. We didn't have them on a digital screen. So Kodak can, basically prove the type of camera that he said he took it on, and that the picture was not altered in any way, shape, or form. So now we have this great apparition, but the apparition is said to be cursed. females that handle this thing in a digital format, even on a tablet or a phone, are said to have the same symptoms like what we talked about at the beginning of our night of headache, nausea, dizziness. Pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based off the gist of the story of it being a stillborn child. You can see why I don't like telling the damn story. So I am going to show everybody what the damn apparition looks like, but I am going to ask that all of you do not touch the damn tablet. In the event that something actually pops up from evidence where I have to give you a link to be able to verify the information, it will say safe link without the cursed photo. I do this for a living, guys. This is not a joke to me. All the other tourists go up there and they hand out their tablet and it goes all the way around. Like, if you're on another ghost tour here in town, don't take the damn tablet. Simply take a glance and say, I've seen that before. Nick told me about it. And then move on. So I'm going to show you what this apparition looks like, and then hopefully we can get a climb up. He climbed up. That's interesting.
He climbed up.
So let me tell you why that's interesting before I go into this photograph. So because I'm looking to take this story out of my route because it is a staple for every other ghost tour, I'm actually looking at another story that goes on across the street at the other half of the cemetery. Basically, the story over there is that there is a guy that haunts the place, and he was a slave. And the slave basically saved the church by climbing to the top of the church while it was on fire, and he was taking shingles off to stop the church from burning, or whatever was hitting the building. So he climbed up there, and basically, and you heard fire earlier. Here's the other part of that story, is that he is not only said to haunt that, but the whole parable is that there's a story of a girl named Sally, and her friends dared her to go in there looking for this guy, and his name was Boney. So she's supposed to go in there at night, and she's supposed to lay a staff on his grave and leave so her friends can go find it the next morning. So basically she goes in there, she thinks she sees something, and she slams the staff into the ground and is trying to run away, but she can't because she basically stabbed her dress into the ground and she scared herself to death. So the part of the story that I'm interested in is he climbed up and you have the word fire, so I'll be writing down both of those. So I'm very interested in that. Like, that's very interesting to me. Here is the apparition.
They're called palmetto bugs. And yes, they are cockroaches, but they are.
So I'm going to go kind of down the line, so everybody, I'm going to do 2 by 2, so I'm not going to we're showing everybody individually. So here's your full apparition. Apparition is right here.
Show my hand. Really major apparition.
Foot.
You guys also remember I told you guys about baby George back from the Pinky Mansion site. This baby might actually be buried with Sue. We don't know. There's no records. So you can see the baby basket right next to her. So even when you, what was that word again? When you zoom in closer, like even on a computer screen, like you can see the weaving of the basket like pretty damn clear. So this is what we're going to be going up there looking for with your camera. So when we get up there, again, all spirit boxes will be in place, and there you'll be listening to. We're just waiting for that group to like stop chilling, like they're just sitting down. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but we're waiting on them to get the hell out of our way. But we're going to go up there with our equipment. We're going to be listening in, and hopefully we're going to get maybe an EMF or 2. So Josiah, hopefully you see a number that comes up out of that. And by the way, your name has shown up on that word list that Shelly's holding too. So again, Sam, how do you spell your name? And that's exactly how it shows up. So Nevaeh's name is showing up on there several times over the past years. But I've seen Josiah's name on there. Nobody ever knows how to pronounce your guys' names when they see it.
Before, not.
And not tonight, but
Not
it
tonight,
has
but
shown
it-
up on that device in the past.
Thanks for living.
I know, right?
Hey, where's your man? You got your fan?
Can you give her your hat so she can fan herself
I'm
with
not
it?
a damn hot fire sound. Like, I'm old.
If it's giving off that strong of a feel. What do you got?
I had 16.7.
It's a possibility. I mean, we're probably still getting things from this lamppost. So,
Especially the fact that I didn't know it went fast into the ground when I stopped lifting it out.
when we get up closer to that church, we've
Yeah,
gotten
man.
some like 9s and 12s over there. So again, it hasn't happened often. I want to say like 3 times in the past 6 months that I've been having to come up here before they got kicked out of the place.
What?
This girl's gonna move. Like, what the hell is she doing?
I never have a.
Gotta write down the other one.
No, I'm sweating too.
You'll be alright.
Do you know what hot flash was?
You okay over there, Shelly?
No,
Shelly?
she's having a
You
severe
okay?
hot flash.
No, we might walk back to the hotel. We're right here. Because,
Your face is pretty red.
yeah, we're going to walk back to the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm sort of busy. You know.
So my wife is going through this whole menopausal thing.
Yeah,
That's
now, too.
right.
That's why I was
yeah,
asking
I'm
how it's
dying.
going.
I have been for a minute
I mean,
now.
she's real clammy and
I feel like I can't breathe anyway.
well, good luck.
Thank you. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
you're gonna be doing double duty then. You're gonna hang on to this guy. You're gonna do
I
both.
love you.
So the Ouija
I
board
gotta go
device,
pull
we're
out,
gonna
guys.
tuck that away.
Got me.
The story's not that long. This is another reason why I don't like telling the damn story. It's because everybody goes there.
Ahead. Ahead. Everybody.
They gotta go to the bar real quick. Probably where it is.
Nick, mine just said everybody.
I heard you. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm hearing everything you're saying. I'm only going to write down the things that are relevant. You're getting really, really good at this. And you're getting all involved in it. And wait do I see? Wait till you see what I'm about to do to you at the next occasion. Yeah. Good job at being great at that.
She's really good at talking.
And one thing you learn when you're good at something, you get used to it.
AJ.
Look what they did with the palm right there. Hold the branch up.
No, they've been talking shit about this thing since the beginning, so.
So the sign, we want to get a shot of the sign just so everybody can kind of see what it says. It's actually right here. Your camera's the only one that can see it. The double sevens are good too. So the grave, just so you guys know, so is actually, you guys see the cross in the background?
Yeah.
Sue's grave is to the left of that cross and one more row towards the back. So obviously you figure, I'm hoping you know that there's a zoom on that camera too. You can zoom right in.
I have not even.
Your middle finger is
played.
right
Right there?
over the top of it, yep. So you can zoom right in on there. We'll get about 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage here. Kind of listen in on these spirit boxes and see what we can get. And I'll just count.
From morning.
Morning or morning?
Morning. Days that he left. Lady.
I heard the word female come here last night. It's pretty vague, but the fact that it's a pattern at this point, you can't ignore it. Did you guys notice the light off to the left, by the way? The church put that there on purpose to try to deter people from taking pictures up there because it causes light flares. But my camera can see through all 3 cameras can see right through that.
I'm doing that.
You got this. Perfect angle. The more still you are, the easier it's going to be able to find something on that camera, just because it has so many layers in there. You get a lot of false positives with this one. Where's the film? Oh, he's filming from back there.
Just another man.
That was a definitive help. I heard that
That
one
was
myself.
really clear. That was right here.
So you got to give us more than that. Wow.
When I die. That's the like third house. Jump.
you're at? This is St. Philip's Church. We're definitely going to take advantage of how good you are at this with the next location. There's going to be another Christmas tree this year, Mom.
I've already got
And
cameras
that box
once.
is actually, like, it's more difficult to listen to just because of the way it's set up. Like, it's using, like, weird hertz and frequencies versus the other ones. Like, it's not coming through as clear as the one, like, what Kevin's listening to.
If anybody's gonna pick it up, it's her.
You're trying to say the grave was a person.
What was that one?
I don't know. It sounded like it said Danielle.
That's exactly what I thought it said. I just didn't want to say it.
But that's our stepmom. That's her stepmom's name. That's why it freaked me out so much. I was picking when he helps. Danielle or no.
I'll be honest, I'm still super excited about the word birthday showing up on Shelly's device. I can't make this stuff up, so when stuff like that happens for real time.
And Ernie.
Well, it didn't show up tonight.
Holy food sacrifice. Holy, like, spirit. Except
That almost sounded like mine, didn't it?
yeah.
I got you. I heard you.
Back and forth.
Come on, Sue. You gotta give us a little bit more. Be a little bit more specific. Let's talk about you, not the church.
Around here.
Sue, let's go with something specific that we don't normally do. I don't normally ask questions here. Sue, give us your birthday if you want, if you can do that for us. Kevin, have you heard anything? Kevin?
Hello. Hello. What happened to you? Why did that happen to you?
I just want to go through the list because I didn't really get a good detailed look on Shelly. Because you guys are keeping me on my toes. It's only 51, I think. It's pretty right, actually.
Hard for whatever happened.
All of that?
She had the word food sacrifice earlier.
Did that say dinner? Boy for girl.
But we don't know what the gender of the baby was.
And she had food. A boy or a girl.
Right,
Around the area. Around the area. I've heard around the area.
That's a yes no question. Huh? That's a yes no question.
Hello.
Who's here with you?
A lot of terrifying stuff. That said Ellie. Band. So music right now.
Possibly. But you have to remember she's from the 1800s. A band back then just could have been a band of people, like a group. Like we would be a band. Doesn't necessarily need to be musicians. Babies.
So maybe there's a group or like yeah. Say something.
Yeah, meanings of the word was a lot different back then, and there was a lot more.
So far, my signal has picked up everything.
A
Like,
lot more proper.
Yeah, that's more proper.
I was trying not to finish the sentence.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Nick,
Yes.
I've gotten light.
Yes.
Shovel.
Become very dependent on technology.
Does shovel have anything to do with it?
Not really. but I'm writing it down anyway because it's very specific.
Willing.
Willingness.
Look this
I've been
way.
hearing help a lot.
We are looking, Sue. We got 3 cameras on you.
Keep talking. No.
Did you hear what she just said? Keep documenting, and I'm over here writing everything down.
Now. Judging.
Not judging, Sue.
Wolf.
That's the name of one of our stations.
I've gotten, like, again, I've gotten hello, and then I just got now.
You had the name Ellie earlier. What does that mean to you guys?
It's
my niece.
Still alive?
Yes.
Edison.
Edison? I'll look up this.
Luke Edison.
But I'll look. What's nice is I actually have the records for the churches. I can
Spy.
go in there and see if there's a Luke Edison that's buried there.
Spy.
Sue, we're gonna wrap it up. Can you say goodnight to us?
We'll take you back.
I'll be back tomorrow.
When's the best time to come talk?
On the anniversary. That's the thing.
Do's and don'ts. Got holy again.
It's like on the sign.
Nope. Maybe.
Alright, I think we got enough footage. Go ahead and hit stop on those cameras. I'm gonna pull this off this corner so another tour can come in and use it. We're gonna go right. Okay. There are people talking nearby us, just for my own personal note.
We have two
Like
groups.
she was blocking us.
We have 2 large groups coming.
It's kind of perfect. They're all gonna be talking.
Why wasn't she able to tell somebody or point or do something to let them know where the wound was?
Couldn't tell you. She may not have known that she was actually shot. We're talking a 64-year-old woman who's probably never been shot before.
Yeah.
What did you get?
We're right.
AJ, no questions at all?
Where was he when he shot me?
It's funny, we got some answers last night that could have been capable of that answer. I can't prove it because we don't know who the shooter was. We heard top of the building near the flag. Like 2 different occasions, 2 different spirit boxes. We don't know. Couldn't have been
Maybe.
here because the murder happened 2 blocks that way.
Maybe at the building that she was
she the
closest to.
intended target?
Was she the motive? Good question. I don't know. Possible. Got anything, Alan? It's okay. This is I'm putting you guys on the spot here. Here's what we've caught so far. Go ahead. Afterlife. What we've caught so far, mind you, this is the new spot for this year. I always wait till after Halloween so I can start looking at the new space, space for the next year. So November 1st of last year, ironically, the 91st anniversary is when I was going to start diving into this, the 90th anniversary. So a couple of weeks going by, we're not getting much. So one night, somebody listening raised their hand and said, I just heard a female voice. It's quiet as can be. It's like a random Wednesday down here. Looked around the corner. I sent somebody around. Nobody around. I get back to the office. In the background, help, help. Female voice. Okay, that's cool. A couple of weeks go by. Yeah. Get something else. Person listening, totally different person, in the background. I just heard a female voice. Go back to the office. Help me, I have fallen. So now I have the keyword of help. I actually have the software where they analyze the sound waves from those 2 sound bites. It is the same damn person. Wow. Same voice, same tone, same everything. So I'm like super excited. I have some mumbles that I can't make out. I don't count those because I can't make them out. I don't like class anything that's not A EVP. So the hope here is that I'm going to have enough evidence coming out of spirit boxes and obviously from this recording to be able to piece something together. We've gotten other clues, just like what we would normally get from our other spaces, but I'm hoping one day we get full direct answers. I'm also going to tell you why I tell this story. We've been talking about people from the 17 and 1800s all night long, aside from Big John, obviously a little bit more recent. So let me tell you why. The experiment we're about to do next, where I blindfold somebody and the other person gets a virtual reality piece, The person that was blindfolded one night actually said the name Mary, murder, and 33, and I didn't know what it meant. Holy cow with the noise tonight. This is why I hate doing this on the weekends. But, the person with the virtual reality piece, they had an image come through along with those same words, and I still didn't know what it meant until I did the damn research. I'm going to wait for this truck to go by because it's just fun for me to sit here and scream at you guys.
Help, I have to.
Thanks, James.
So the image that showed up with the virtual reality piece, you're going to see Mary on the left, the image on the right. Hold on a second. We're going to actually start off the piece so that everyone can hear me very, very clearly. So this is what came up through the virtual reality piece along with the words Mary, murder, 33. I just started Googling all the Marys in this vicinity so I can see where there was bleed over coming from. So when I stumbled across this, I was kind of like, are you shitting me right now? Like, putting it side by side, you can see the similarities between the eye, the brow, the cheeks. I mean, everything on here is almost identical, other than the fact that one's in color, one isn't. So again, this is how I learn about these things, guys. This is where things come about for me. Keep in mind where we're going. We're literally going to this park like right behind me, so that way we can go do this blindfold test. Does anybody else want to try the headphones before we wrap this up? All right, let's go ahead and hand them over. Anybody else want to try them? We'll let you have about a minute underneath there, so just peel them off.
I have a question.
Yes. All right. A couple of things. So, you got your blindfold at all? You are literally going to tell me everything that you're experiencing out of your box, including yes, no, and so we're going to be recording the entire thing. Not the internet. There's going to be a few taps that you're not going to be able to see. So the hope here is that you won't be able to hear me as well. Now, if we can't hear you, which I think is what the problem is going to be with that, a family member is going to tap you on the shoulder. No, so if we can't hear you, they're going to look up their headphone and say, can you speak up a little bit? If you're too loud, which is a problem with neighbors, they'll tap you on the shoulder to quiet. And when we're done, somebody's going to tap you on the leg. We'll take off your own blindfold and headset, and we'll talk about what actually happened. So, with your family member going to see your headset, we're only going to do this for 10 minutes, just so you guys know. So, at the end of the 10 minutes, I'll have you peel that thing off your face. You will be describing all of the images that you're seeing. You might get 0, you might get 12. You never know.
Picture to start with, and then something might appear.
So I put an ambient galaxy moving around in there. It looks like a golden galaxy in the distance. And every once in a while, you're going to get a picture that shows up in front. So a painting, a photograph, you never know. So just kind of briefly describe what's going on with it, because she's going to be talking over you. She's not going to be able to hear what you're speaking. So 2 people bench 3. Okay, she's not saying much. She'll say, what are the 2 people wearing? What gender are they? What's the time they're on? And that's what we're talking about. But that's kind of the basic gist of it. Again, you might not get any, you might get 10. Absolutely, you only have 1. All you'll have to do is look straight ahead, and it will line up with you. So when you get in there, and it's a little blurry, actually focus right there. So we're going to go ahead and put your blindfold on. And as soon as you get your headphones turned back on, as we were talking about,
Take that, yeah.
another galaxy is in there. That'll always be there just so you don't fall asleep.
Hey.
Trinity, can you hear me? Oh, by the way, ironically enough, our friend that I just told you about is buried at Holy Trinity Church. That's another reason why I wanted her to be underneath it, to kind of use her as a figure out. Noted, is what she just said. Let's get you guys circled in just a little bit more so you can hear. come forward and let us know that you're here by talking about your occupation. We got Mr. Kevin here as well. Yeah, you get a bunch of buttons on here too.
866.
Henry, let's talk about your work. Can you tell us what you did for a living? You can even show us the last stage that you pieced together. Henry, this is Trinity and Kevin. So hear what you want us to hear and see whatever you want us to see.
Movies, local people.
Trinity, skeleton.
Yep. Looks like the rest of it, okay.
Creatures.
Creatures. You know what she just said? Henry, can we go straight into your death? Is that what the skeleton is?
7 a.m.
Henry, I was trying to be nice and ask about your work, but you want to talk about your death, we can do that.
Well done.
Can you tell us how you died?
In my arm.
Wow, serious. Henry, what disease caused your death? What disease caused your death? Can you show us? Who complained? Henry, let's go back to your last, your death and your work kind of
He
going hand in
loves
hand.
you.
Can you tell us about the place where you were writing, where you died? Can you tell us about that place? Who did it belong to? Describe it for us. These are questions I've never asked you before.
Standard question.
Okay. Who did those cars belong to? Who's a very good friend of yours, was it not?
5 to 8.
Who did the cottage belong to?
Grandmother. If that was an option, I would take.
She's very good at this, by the way. I see a lot of people, and she's calm, cool,
I would
collected.
not forget.
Henry, back to you, sir. Did you bring anybody else here with you? Do I need to try to talk to anybody else, Henry? You can always use the blue box. I'm sure Kevin doesn't want to fall asleep in
He
it.
had a son.
No. Henry? Do you want to tell us about your son? Maybe his birthday? Verify that you would like to speak about him?
He had a person with hope.
When was your son's birthday?
No.
Okay. Move on. You want to talk about your wife?
Somebody would.
Henry was 4. Henry, you want to talk about your wife? So, can you give us her name? I would like more images. Henry, more images would be fantastic. Let's go back to your work for just a minute. Can you tell us where it's being held? You can show us a picture of that. Speaking of your wife, I don't know what you just did. Can I see the camera? Double sevens is Dr. Ladd's birthday, just so you know, July 7th. Dr. Ladd, if you're here, give us your code word, please. That code word for you guys is purple. That's not a common thing you would hear on the radio. She said purple. It's obviously a good indicator. Henry? Dr. Ladd, you can give us something purple as an image inside the little box. We'll put that as an indicator. That would be great. So Henry, back to you. I would like to ask more about where your work is being held. Can you show us where your work is being held?
Pay taken.
Thank you. I can't make this stuff up. Dr. Ladd, thank you for giving us the purple.
Someone's watching me.
Yeah, we're not. Dr. Ladd, can you ask Henry to tell us where his work is being held, please? Maybe give us that image.
Everybody's sleeping. Wrapped up in
Where's your work at, Henry? What type of building is it?
1-5. Look in my eyes. It's all white, yeah. The truth is natural colors.
Speaking of your death, Henry? It's a little nuts out here. It's a Friday night. You know how this goes. Henry, Dr. Ladd, I'm sure Kevin would like to see something. What? Henry, can you show us what type of building your work is being held in? Henry, we're running out of time. Henry, we're at the 7-minute mark.
1:30.
Running out of time. If you throw us 1 or 2 more images, we'll go ahead and wrap it up and get back to it. I don't like to make it scary. Why would you do that? We should be celebrating.
Oh my, please, God.
Yeah, he's been busy.
Start caring about me now.
I've always cared about you. This is why I'm here. We've had some good conversations today.
Wrap it up in a bag. Take a walk.
Henry, may I ask you one more question?
My heart is yours.
The young lady that was speaking back to me,
10172.
her name is Trinity. Does that mean anything to you?
At the end of every day.
Mm.
What does it mean? Can you show us?
We're having trouble getting
Triple.
We're having trouble getting one. What she said. Henry, what does the name Trinity mean to you? Can you show us?
Savior.
Henry, Mary. Dr. Ladd, let's get back to you. Can you check the name of your fiancée, please? I want her verification. Or that you're close to. What was her name?
I like it.
Dr. Ladd, one more chance. Give me her name. No, please.
At last.
Henry, Dr. Ladd, last episode Kevin would ever see anything besides that moving galaxy. I'm sure he's enjoyed this conversation that we've had. I'm not going to sit down and up yet. Henry, after that, second chance. Everything is with their nature. Any last message? A question I've asked you, give us the direct answer. Going once, twice. Not scared her. Look at her. She was calm, cool, collected. She would probably do this all night if I let her. Tap her on the leg, so she can take those stuff off. Then peel that thing off your face. Let's see your skeleton. Cameras, let's put a sock to him. Don't get up.